Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, Dandavat pranams to all of you. Thank you very much for joining in for our Krishna book study session today. We'll start with prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutupadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gaur Dushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining in for our Krishna book study session. We are on chapter number 8. We are discussing on the vision of the universal form, right? How we see that several times the Lord is showing, sometimes the universe in his mouth, sometimes killing so many demons, killing the demon who came as a whirlwind and thrashing onto the ground. The demon dies, but Krishna is still playing on the demon. So Puthanavad, and all of these things are happening. Yet Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they do not understand that Krishna is the supreme Lord. They immediately do prayers to Lord Vishnu. Oh Lord Vishnu, please protect my son. There are so many demons who are coming and trying to kill my son. Somehow by your grace he is getting protected. And you also saw how Nanda Maharaj went to Vasudeva to actually pay the taxes. At that time Vasudeva tells Nanda Maharaj, go back to Vrindavan immediately, because a lot of demons have been sent by Kamsa to actually kill Krishna. And all the all the children that have been born during the time of the advent of Krishna, right, at the time of the 8th son of Devaki. So Nanda Maharaj has sent all of them to kill all the children. But Vasudeva knows that he only kept his own 8th son in Nanda Maharaj's place. So he knows that Krishna is the son. Krishna is his 8th son who's supposed to kill Kamsa. So he especially tells Nanda Maharaj, please go back and take care, because Kamsa is sending demons to kill all the children who are born at this time, like that. But Vasudeva himself does not, Nanda Maharaj himself does not know that Krishna is the son of Vasudeva, right? The 8th son of Vasudeva. So in this way, the loving exchange between Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva happens, and then Nanda Maharaj comes back and Vasudeva sends Garga Muni for the naming ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. And we see how Balaram is named Balaram. Rama means one who gives pleasure. Bala means one who has all the strength. We spoke about How Balaram is the source of spiritual strength. We need to pray to Balaram, whose appearance is coming up this month, 19th of August. So we need to pray to Balaram to give us the spiritual strength when we engage in devotional service in all circumstances, whether of happiness or of sadness or of misery or of pleasure or pain, whatever be happening to us. May we get the spiritual strength to always continue with the process of devotional service, because that is the only thing that's permanent. Everything else will change. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are sad, sometimes we've lost something, sometimes we've gained something. This keeps on change. Change is the only constant in this material world. But the eternal constant is devotional service, by which we can go back to God. We can go back to the eternal abode of the Lord, right? So we pray to Balaram to give us the spiritual strength, so that we can follow the instructions of our gurus. We can follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and work for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. And of course, Gargamuni names Krishna, isn't it? Sarvam Akarshaniti Krishna, right? The one who attracts all the worlds, right? The three worlds, the heaven, the earth, the hellish planets, right? We say Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, right? It's not just the material world, but all the spiritual worlds, right? Sarvam Akarshan. Everything, everyone is getting attracted by the beautiful form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and hence Prabhupada says the best word that can describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead amongst his various names, Devaki Nandan, Nandanandan, Yashoda Nandan, Madhusudan, Madhava, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Damodara, Vasudeva, and all of these names, the best name to describe Krishna is Krishna itself, right? That's why Gargamuni names Krishna. He gives a lot of other names also. And Gargamuni also says, I am, if people come to know that I am naming this child, they may know that, because I am Vasudeva's Kula Guru, right? There might be some problem, but then they decide that they will do it as a very small ceremony with only the close relatives and the neighbors and all the Vrindavan Vasis in attendance. And in this way, Gargamuni names the children Krishna and Balaram. And in this way, the first year, the first year ceremony also happens when Nanda Maharaj gives a nice birthday party. He gives a lot of charity, right? He gives elephants, he gives chariots, right? Nandagar Anandamayo Jai Kanaya Lalaki हाथी दीना घोड़ा दीना और दीना पालकी जवान उनको हाथी घोड़ा बूढ़े उनको पालकी. So in this way, Nanda Maharaj gave a lot of charity. That's supposed to be the duty of the Grihasthas. They're supposed to give a lot of charity, right? When we give our hard-earned money as charity, we become detached to material things. And when we give charity at the right time, at the right place, for the right cause, then we get elevated in spiritual life, right? Okay. So what we were saying now, what we're going to read is, now Krishna and Balaram are going to crawl on their knees and they're going to roam around the entire home on their knees. So let's hear the wonderful pastimes of Krishna and Balaram in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj's home, right? Nanda Bhavan. All right, let's go ahead. Devotees can raise your hands and we can quickly start reading this chapter. Deval Mataji, yes, go ahead. A short time after the incident. The incident that's referred to here is the naming ceremony by Gargamuni, who named Krishna and Balaram as Krishna and Balaram. And in this way, what happens after that? Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
From where, Mataji?
A short time after
this is chapter 8, right?
Correct.
Just a moment, I'm just scrolling.
Okay.
So sorry. A short time after this incident, both Balram and Krishna began to crawl on their hands and knees. When they were crawling like that, they pleased their mothers. The bells tied to their waist and ankles sound fascinating, and they would move around very pleasingly. Sometimes, just like ordinary children, they would be frightened by others and would immediately hurry to their mothers for protection. Sometimes they would fall into the clay and mud of Vrindavana and would approach their mothers smeared with clay and saffron. They were actually smeared with saffron and sandalwood pulp by their mothers, but due to crawling over muddy clay, they would simultaneously smear their bodies with clay. As soon as they would come crawling to their mothers, Yashoda and Rohini would take them on their laps and, covering them with the lower portion of their saris, allow them to suck their breast. When the babies were sucking their breast, the mothers would see some small teeth coming in. Thus, their joy would be intensified to see their children grow. Sometimes the naughty babies would crawl up to the cow shed, catch the tail of a calf, and stand up. The calves, being disturbed, would immediately begin running here and there, and the children would be dragged over clay and cow dung. To see this one, Yashoda and Rohini would call all their neighborhood friends the gopis. Upon seeing these childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna, the gopis would be merged in transcendental bliss. In their enjoyment, they would laugh very loudly. Krishna and Balram were so restless that their mothers Yashoda and Rohini would try to protect them from cows, bulls, monkeys, water, fire, and birds while they were executing their household duties. Always being anxious to protect the children and to execute their duties, they were not very tranquil. In a very short time, Krishna and Balram began to stand up and slightly move on their legs. When Krishna and Balram began to walk, other friends of the same age joined them, and together they gave the highest transcendental pleasure to the gopis, specifically to Mother Yashoda and Rohini. All the gopi friends of Yashoda and Rohini enjoyed their naughty childish activities of Krishna and Balram in Vrindavan. In order to enjoy further transcendental bliss, they all assembled and went to Mother Yashoda to lodge complaints against the restless boys. When Krishna was sitting before Mother Yashoda, all the elder gopis began to lodge complaints against him so that Krishna could hear. They said, "Dear Yashoda, why don't you restrict your naughty Krishna? He comes to our houses along with Balram every morning and evening, and before the milking of the cows, they let loose the calves, and the cows drink all the milk of the cows. So when we go to milk the cows, we find no milk, and we have to return with empty pots. If we warn Krishna and Balram about doing this, they simply smile so charmingly that we cannot do anything. Also, your Krishna and Balram find great pleasure in stealing our stock of yogurt and butter from wherever we keep it. When Krishna and Balram are caught stealing the yogurt and butter, they say, 'Why do you charge us with stealing? Do you think that butter and yogurt are in a scarcity in our house?' Sometimes they steal butter, yogurt, and milk and distribute them to the monkeys. When the monkeys are well fed and do not take any more, then your boys shine. This milk and butter and yogurt are useless. Even the monkeys won't take it. And they break the pots and throw them hither and thither. If we keep our stock of yogurt, butter, and milk in a solitary dark place, your Krishna and Balram find it in the darkness by the glaring effulgence of the ornaments and jewels on their bodies. If by chance they cannot find the hidden butter and yogurt, they go to our little babies and pinch their bodies so that they cry, and then they go away. If out of fear of these naughty boys, we keep our stock of butter and yogurt high on the ceiling, hanging on a swing, although it is beyond their reach, they arrange to reach it by piling all kinds of wooden planks over the grinding machine. And if they cannot reach, they make a hole in the pot. We think, therefore, that you better take all the jeweled ornaments from the bodies of your children." Should I continue, Mataji? You're on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, right? Vraje prasidham navanita choram gopangananam cha dukula choram aneka janmarjita papa choram choragraganyam purusham namami. Very wonderful pastimes. How the one who steals butter, actually the gopis want Krishna to steal that butter, and they derive this transcendental pleasure of going and reporting to Mother Yashoda, right? And Mother Yashoda always tells them, that I have the best cows. The 900,000 cows Nanda Maharaj has, and out of that, the best 1,000 cows are taken, and they are fed nice, Padma Gandha. The grasses of Padma Gandha, and those cows are specifically milked so as to their milk is specifically given to Krishna and Balaram, and they are used to make the sweets, and they are used to make the curd, and then the buttermilk is churned to get the butter, right? And in this way, the best of the cows, I have the best of the cows. So Yashoda Maya also does not believe that Krishna and Balaram would actually go and steal, right? And also the acharyas explain here that in this pitch dark, when the butter pot is in the ceiling, when Krishna and Balaram actually go there, although their ornaments shine, right? Actually, the effulgence is from the body of Krishna and Balaram, right? That is manifested through the ornaments, right? So in this way, by the effulgence of their bodies, they're able to, there is light in the entire place, and they're easily able to, climb over one boy on another. In that way, they find the butter and they steal it, right? Not because they are not in need of butter. We already saw how Yashoda Maya has got the best butter, right, made from the best of the cows for Krishna and Balaram. However, just to increase the ecstasy of the gopis, because the gopis are deriving transcendental pleasure because Krishna is coming and stealing, because the gopis in their heart of hearts want Krishna to steal, right? And when once what happened is actually when one of the gopis caught Krishna red-handed, right? And the gopi said, "Okay, now let me take you to Mother Yashoda. I will show Mother Yashoda, that I've caught you red-handed and you have butter all over your mouth. And then Krishna said, no, don't do it. You will regret your decision. And Gopi said, okay, let's see who's regretting the decision. And then she drags Krishna and goes to Yashoda Maya and sees, no, Krishna is behind. And, she tells Mother Yashoda, see what your son is doing. Look at his mouth. His face is full of butter. I've caught him red-handed. And Yashoda Maya is laughing, and then she's wondering what happened. And she turns and sees. And the boy whom she's holding is her own son. So in this way, that Gopi was bewildered. Oh, what happened? Whom did I bring along? It is actually, not Krishna, but my own son. And then, she left her hand and she walked back. And then Krishna came behind her and told, next time you catch my hand and take me to my mother, I will not be your son. I will take the form of your husband, And in this way, the Gopi was so bewildered that, she realized that, Krishna is playing a prank. Actually, I got Krishna only. Right? But she could not do anything. So in this way, there was transcendental loving exchange between the gopis and Krishna. Right? We generally play pranks only with people whom we are close with. We will not play pranks with outsiders. Right? So in this way, Krishna was exhibiting his love to the gopis, who internally wanted Krishna to steal and who externally went and reported to Mother Yashoda also for Mother Yashoda's pleasure and to increase the transcendental loving exchange between the various parties involved, right? Yashoda Maya, the gopis, Krishna and Balaram. So in this way, there was transcendental pastimes that was going on, and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and all the gopis and gopas of Vrindavan were actually relishing these pastimes. Although we can see that Devaki and Vasudev, they were the parents of Krishna. Yet they got Krishna as their son because of the austerities they performed. But the the fortune of watching Krishna grow, all of these pastimes, crawling around Nanda Bhavan, etc., were seen by Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, who are the eternal parents of Krishna. All right. So let's go ahead. Rajanish Prabhu, go ahead. On hearing this, Yashoda would say,
Hare Krishna Mataji, temple.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
On hearing this, Yashoda would say, all right, I will take all the jewels from Krishna so that he cannot see the butter hidden in the darkness. Then gopis would say, no, don't do this. What good will you do by taking away the jewels? We don't know what kind of boys these are, but even without ornaments, they spread some kind of effulgence so that even in darkness they can see everything. Then Mother Yashoda would inform them, all right, keep your butter and yogurt carefully so that they may not reach it. In reply to this, the gopis said, yes, actually we do so, but because we are sometimes engaged in our household duties, these naughty boys enter our house somehow or the other and spoil everything. Sometimes, being unable to steal our butter and yogurt out of anger, they pass urine on the clean floor and sometimes spit on it. Now just see how your boy is hearing these complaints. All day he simply makes arrangements to steal our butter and yogurt, and now he is sitting just like a very silent good boy. Just see his face. When Mother Yashoda thought to chastise her boy after hearing all the complaints, he saw his pitiable face and smiling. He did not chastise him. Another day, when Krishna and Balram were playing with their friends, all the boys joined Balram and complained to Mother Yashoda that Krishna had eaten clay. On hearing this, Mother Yashoda caught hold of Krishna's hand and said, my dear Krishna, why have you eaten earth in a solitary place? Just see, all your friends, including Balram, are complaining about you. Being afraid of his mother, Krishna replied, my dear mother, all these boys, including my elder brother Balram, are speaking lies against me. I have never eaten any clay. My elder brother Balram, while playing with me today, became angry and therefore he had joined with the other boys to complain against me. They have all combined together to complain so you will be angry and chastise me. If you think they are truthful, then you can look within my mouth to see whether I have eaten clay or not. His mother replied, all right, if you have actually not eaten any clay, then just open your mouth, I shall see. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna was so ordered by his mother, he immediately opened his mouth just like an ordinary boy. Then Mother Yashoda saw within that mouth the, the complete affluence of creation, the complete affluence of creation. He saw the entire outer space in all directions, mountains, islands, oceans, seas, planets, air, fire, moon, and stars. Along with the moon and the stars, he also saw all the elements, water, sky, and extensive ethereal existence, along with the total ego and its product, namely the senses, the controllers of the senses. All the demigods and the objects of the senses like sound and smell. Within his mouth he also saw the three qualities of material nature, all living entities, eternal time, material nature, spiritual nature, activity, consciousness, and different forms of whole creation. Yashoda could find within the mouth of her child everything necessary for cosmic manifestation. He also saw within his mouth herself taking Krishna on her lap and asking him suck her breast. Upon seeing all this, she became struck with awe and began to wonder whether she were dreaming or actually seeing something extraordinary. He concluded that he was either dreaming or seeing the play of the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He thought that she had become mad, mentally deranged to see all those wonderful things. Then she thought it may be cosmic mystic power attained by my child, and therefore I am perplexed by such visions within his mouth. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the child, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the expression of consciousness, mind, work, and philosophical speculation, and whose different energies produce everything manifested and unmanifested. Under his energy, self, bodily self, and bodily possessions are conceived. He then said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, under whose illusory energy I am thinking that Nand Maharaja is my husband and Krishna is my son, that all the properties of Nand Maharaja belong to me, and that all the cowherd men and women are my subjects. All this misconception is due to illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. So let me pray to him that he may protect the list. While
Hare
Mother
Krishna. Thank you,
Yashoda,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Yashoda Maya is also thinking, right? It's only under the control of Maya or under the illusion energy of the Lord that we think ourselves as the proprietor of those things which are actually belonging to the Supreme Lord, which are under our care simply for the time being, isn't it? Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Suhradam Sarvabhutanam Nyatva Mam Shantim Pruchati. Bhoktaram Sarvatapasam. Right? A Bhoktara means he is the supreme enjoyer, he is the supreme proprietor. He is a supreme enjoyer, right? Who are we? We are simply caretakers of the portion that is actually allocated to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Anything which we are assigned to right now can be taken away at any time. Nothing we can claim as our own. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. Yena Taktena Bunjita Magrada Kasya Swedanam. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjita, right? as much as we deserve, according to our past karmas and according to our past activities, as per our karma, as per the karmic reactions, we are allocated certain amount of resources, certain amount of skills, certain amount of wealth, right? Everything. And what we should not think that I am the owner of this, right? Krishna is the owner of everything, right? Yet he is allocated to me certain portion for my sustenance, for my maintenance, for maintaining my body, for performing devotional service. So I should utilize what has been allocated to me. Magrada kasya swedanam, not looking at others' property, others' wealth, others' strengths, others' skills, etc. Knowing well, Krishna has given the best allocation to everybody according to their need, according to what they are deserved, isn't it? So we have to be happy with what we have, and whatever we have, we have to engage in the service of the Lord. If you are not doing that, if you think that I am the owner of this bottle, this speaker, this bottle and this mobile and everything, and what happens? It is because of the misconception. Maya means that which is not. Right? If we consider something our own without understanding that it all belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we are in Maya. Because the real position is everything belongs to the Lord, including myself. Right? I myself belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and hence I have to utilize my body, my resources, everything that has been allocated to me in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is a proper utilization of our body, of the things, of the skills, of the talents, of the resources, everything else that have been provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have to be rightfully used in the service of the Supreme Lord. Right? Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, the demigods give us a lot of things. But the demigods are through the demigods, right? For example, Varuna gives us the rain, Chandra gives us the moonlight, Surya Bhagavan gives us the sunshine, right? So we utilize. So that is the reason yajnatat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha, right? Annad bhavanti bhutani. That is, and this life itself is going on as jivasya jivanam, right? One living entity is contributing as the food of the other living entity, right? The herbivorous animals, they feed on grass, right? As human beings, we accept patram pushpam phalam toyam. Of course, the trees and the fruits and the leaves and everything, they also have life, right? But why are we as devotees, are we committing a sin? Are we committing jiva hamsa by actually plucking the fruits or the leaves or by taking milk, etc., right? Yes, we are, right? But it is not a sin, because that is how the world is created. That is how the living entities are supposed to sustain themselves, right? So in this way, when we understand what is prescribed in the Shastras for us, right? Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam, right? When we are saying that meat eating is bad because it kills the principle of compassion. Why? Because we are killing living entities. You're not supposed to kill others for our sense gratification. But then people argue, plants also have life. Then what do you call this? When we pluck the fruits, the tree also has life. The tree is thinking, the fruits are the byproducts of the tree, and we simply pluck the fruit and then we offer it and then we have it, isn't it? So are we doing jiva hamsa also, right? So one thing is, logically also, plants are not as evolved as animals, right? The plants don't shed tears, plants don't try to run away, whereas it's so vehemently violent when when actually somebody chases a chicken or a hen or a whatever animal and tries to cut it, right? But even higher principle than that, right? Even logically it works. Some people just argue for the sake of arguing. But in any case, we are not proud of being vegetarians, right? Krishna says even herbivorous animals are vegetarians, but we are Krishnatarians. What has Krishna told? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna has told, you can offer me, you can offer water, you can offer leaves, you can offer fruits, right? You can offer all these things to me with love and devotion, right? So although we are committing a little bit of jiva hamsa by actually plucking the fruits, right, which does not belong to us, but somehow we are taking that for our sustenance. But when we are offering it to the Lord, then all the sinful reactions go away, right? Does not mean we offer meat to Krishna and eat meat. No, Krishna has not asked for meat, right? Prabhupada says in one lecture, if Krishna had asked for meat, we are willing to we will offer to Krishna what he wants. But Krishna has told patram pushpam phalam and toyam, right? So fruits, nice milk offering, sweets, etc. What we are made out of these ingredients, we can offer to Krishna with love and devotion. And in this way, although we are taking it from other jivas, right? Like we get milk from the cows, we get you get fruits and vegetables from the plants. Yet when we are using those things for our sense gratification, for our utility, right, yet we don't incur any reactions for it, provided we offer it to Krishna and then we honor Krishna prasadam. In this way, as we follow the instructions of the Lord in whatever we are doing, and we do it for the pleasure of the Lord, we perform a karma, right? We don't either perform vikarma, for which we attain negative reactions, nor are we performing karma for which we will get positive reactions. We are simply engaging in the service of the Lord, for which there will be no reactions, provided we are following the instructions of the Lord, which have been given to us through Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, while Mother Yashoda was thinking, okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While Mother Yashoda was thinking in this high philosophical way, Lord Krishna again expanded his internal energy just to bewilder her with maternal affection. Immediately, Mother Yashoda forgot all philosophical speculation and accepted Krishna as her own child. She took him on her lap and became overwhelmed with maternal affection. She thus began to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is understood through the processes of cultivating knowledge derived from the Upanishad and the Vedanta Sutra, practicing mystic yoga and studying Shantya philosophy as her own begotten child. Certainly, Mother Yashoda had executed many pious activities, as a result of which she got the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as her son, who sucked milk from her breast. Similarly, Nanda Maharaja also must have performed many great sacrifices and pious activities for Lord Krishna to become his son and address him as father. But it is surprising that Vasudeva and Devaki did not enjoy the transcendental bliss of Krishna's childhood pastimes, although Krishna was their real son. The childhood pastimes of Krishna are glorified even today by many sages and saintly persons, but Vasudeva and Devaki could not enjoy such childhood pastimes personally. The reason for this was explained by Shukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit as follows. When the best of the Vasus, named Drona, and his wife Dara, were ordered to increase progeny by Lord Brahma, they said unto him, Dear Father, we are seeking your benediction. When we take birth again within the universe, may the Supreme Lord Krishna, in his most attractive feature of childhood, absorb our whole attention. May our dealings with him be so powerful that simply by hearing of these childhood activities of his, anyone will very easily cross over the signs of birth and death. Lord Brahma agreed to give him the benediction, and as a result, the same Drona appeared as Nanda Maharaja in Vrindavana. The same Dhara appeared as Mother Yashoda, the wife of Nanda Maharaja. In this way, Nanda Maharaja and his wife, Mother Yashoda, developed their unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, having gotten him as their son. And all the gopis and covered men who were associates of Krishna naturally developed their own different feelings of love for Krishna. Therefore, just to fulfill the benediction of Lord Brahma, Lord Krishna appeared along with his planetary expansion, Balarama, and performed all kinds of childhood pastimes in order to increase the transcendental pleasure of all the residents of Vrindavana. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 8th chapter of Krishna, Vision of the Universal Form. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, in this way, Krishna displayed everything within his mouth. He showed the entire universe and the entire creation, the bhumi, rapu, nalo, vayu, kam, mano, buddhi, devacha, right? Everything, all the gross elements, the subtle elements, the mountains, the hills. Inside that, Nanda Bhavan is there. Inside that, Mother Yashoda is there. Inside, on Mother Yashoda's lap, Krishna is there, right? So, in this way, everything, and the entire universe coming down to where she is seated in that one place in Nanda Bhavan. She could see everything in Krishna's mouth, and yet she could not believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She is just thinking that my son has acquired some mystic powers, because of which he is showing me all these things, right? And she prays to the Supreme Lord. So she prays to Lord Vishnu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She does not realize that the Vishnu whom she is praying to is the expansion of Krishna himself, who's sitting in her lap, right? And here Prabhupada also mentions about how the Vasus, Drona and Dhara, right? They actually prayed to Brahma, and by the benediction of Brahma, they got the opportunity to get Lord Krishna as their son. And in this way, they could also witness the wonderful pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, crawling and playing and stealing butter and doing all of these pastimes in Nanda Bhavan, which even Vasudeva and Devaki are not able to relish that kind of pastimes. All right, so we have time. Let's move on to the next chapter, chapter number 9. This chapter is entitled Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. This is a very famous Damodar Leela, right? As many times we hear it 30 days straight, and yet, we feel more and more transcendental pleasure, right? We always talk about how our endeavor and the mercy of the Lord, they are both very, very important, right? It's not that there's an analogy that's given that a baby monkey and a cat, right? The baby monkey actually hatches on to its mother. Wherever the mother goes, the baby monkey hatches on to its mother. Whereas a cat holds the kitten in its mouth, right? So the endeavor and mercy both should be there. In Krishna consciousness, we have to hatch on to Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, just like the baby monkey hatches on to its mother, right? And what actually carries us is not our hatching on, right? Because how powerful is that? We are so much materially conditioned. We are under the illusory energy of the Lord. Most of the time, we are sustained only by Sadhu Sangha and by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga and all the Vaishnavas. So we are like the kittens who are carried by the cat, right? Because typically 99% of our advancement in Krishna consciousness happens through the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, right? But at the same time, we also have to endeavor, just like the baby monkey tries to hatch on, right? We also have to hatch on to the process of devotional service, that we engage in chanting Hare Krishna, we perform ABCD square, all these and all of these sadhana bhakti we do follow, we hatch on also. At the same time, we know that we are only carried, or we are only progressing simply by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga, right? And ye tamam prapadyante tam sadeva bhajamyam. The more we are sincere in performing our sadhana, the more we will be the recipients of the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So let's go ahead with this wonderful Leela. Let's see if we have time, we will complete it today. Otherwise, okay, it's almost 1. Okay, so let's start with this Leela. Let's see what happens. Karpagavali Mataji can go ahead. Okay, next Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji can also read. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Yes,
Chapter 9.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. Once upon a time, seeing that her maidservant was engaged in different household duties, Mother Yashoda personally took charge of churning butter. And while she churned butter, she sang the childhood pastimes of Krishna and enjoyed thinking of her son. The end of her sari was tightly wrapped while she churned, and on account of her intense love for her son, milk automatically dripped from her breast, which moved as she labored very hard, churning in with 2 hands. The bangles and bracelets on her hands tinkled as they touched each other, and her earrings and wrist shook. There were drops of perspiration on her face, and the flower garland which was on her head scattered here and there. Before this picturesque sight, Lord Krishna appeared as a child, and he felt angry, and to increase his love, he wanted her to stop churning. He indicated that her first business was to let him suck her breast, and then he would churn butter. She could churn butter later. Mother Yashoda took her son on her lap and pushed the nipple of her breast into his mouth, and while Krishna was sucking the milk, she was smiling and enjoying the beauty of her child's face. Suddenly, the milk, which was on the stove, began to boil over. Just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yashoda at once put Krishna aside and went to the stove. Left in that stage by his mother, Krishna became very angry, and his lips and eyes became red in rage. He pressed his teeth and lips, and taking up a piece of stone, he immediately broke the butter pot. He took butter out of it, and with false tears in his eyes, he began to eat the butter in a secluded place. In the meantime, Mother Yashoda returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order. She saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt has been kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. She smiled as she thought, the child is very clever. After breaking the pot, he has left this place fearing punishment. After she sought all over, she found her son sitting on a big wooden grinder motor, which was kept upside down. He was taking butter from that pot, which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. She saw Krishna looking in this way and that way in fear of her because he was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing her son so engaged, she very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, saw her coming toward him and with a stick in her hand, and he immediately got down from the grinder motor and began to flee in fear. Mother Yasoda chased him to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the meditations of great yogis. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is never caught by the yogis and speculators, was playing just like a little child for such a great devotee as Mother Yasoda. Mother Yasoda, however, could not easily catch the fast-running child because of her thin waist and her heavy body. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened and the flowers in her hair fell to the ground. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with black eye cosmetics. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless from fear. Mother
Hare Krishna.
Yasoda could
Thank you, Mataji.
understand. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this is very wonderful, right? Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodhabhiyo Lukaladavamanam Paramrishamatyanta Todrutya Gopyam. So in this way, Krishna was running in front and Yashoda Maya was running behind Krishna. And I said Mother Yashoda had a bulky body. She was aged, right? She was so she was running behind this little boy who was the Supreme Lord, right? So Prabhupada makes a very nice point here that none of the yogis and none of the mental speculators are even able to catch Krishna through their mind also. Yeah? And here is Mother Yashoda trying to catch him physically, right? Who can catch the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So in this way, Mother Yashoda, but she was determined, right? Although it was very difficult for her. The Acharyas also explained, like Prabhupada mentions here, the flowers on her hair are all falling down. She's perspiring. She's running behind, right? Krishna. And in this way, Acharyas explain that the flowers are thinking, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is running in fear of this lady who is running behind him, right? How much great this lady must be, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the greatest of the greatest. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is running scared of this lady. So this lady must be superior to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, isn't it? So in that way, Mother Yashoda, the flowers were thinking, it is not, our place is not in the head of Mother Yashoda. Our place is at her lotus feet. So in this way, the flowers all fell down, right? And in this way, Mother Yashoda was tired, and Mother Yashoda could not run, could not keep pace with Krishna, and she ran and ran and ran behind Krishna. And Krishna saw this effort of Mother Yashoda, right? It also signifies our efforts in understanding Krishna simply by our own chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahim indriyahi sevon mukhehi jivado swayam eva suratyadaha. When we perform our sadhana and when we perform our devotional service, we should understand that by my own strength of the devotional service, I cannot understand Krishna. However, when Krishna is pleased by my endeavor, when Krishna is pleased by my sincerity to serve him, to please him, then Krishna will automatically allow himself, or Krishna will allow himself to be revealed to us, revealed to our understanding, revealed in our heart, just like Krishna allowed Mother Yashoda to catch him, right? And even bind him. Later on in the past time, we know that Mother Yashoda actually bound Krishna, right? In this way, we also want to bind Krishna to our hearts, that our heart does not go behind anything else except the wonderful form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And here, the Acharyas also explain that Krishna is the Supreme, is fear personified, right? If there was the fear itself, right? We are fearful only when we don't know what is going to happen, when somebody is going to catch us, right? So in that way, the fear personified also is fearful of Krishna, because The fear, everything is a person in the spiritual world. So the fear personified also is actually thinking, how can I please Krishna? He's also fearful of Krishna. Will I do something, if I don't instill fear in, even in Krishna? Because in this pastime, Krishna is not acting, right? Krishna is not acting in a drama as if he is fearful. Krishna is really fearful of Mother Yashoda. And how does it happen? Right? Yogamaya actually instills this in Krishna, that Krishna himself seems to be under illusion, that he is forgotten that he is the Supreme Lord. Right? All this also happens by the desire of Krishna only. When Krishna wills that he wants to do this pastime where he wants to be, wants to exhibit this loving reciprocation with his mother, with no Aishwarya, with no understanding that I am the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how can the Supreme Lord run away in fear from his own mother? Isn't it? So Yogamaya plays his role where Krishna forgets that I am the Supreme Lord. Krishna thinks that I am the son of Mother Yashoda, and Mother Yashoda is very angry. And in this way, the kajal and everything that's applied on Krishna's eyes, they all come down. And Krishna's tears are falling down from Krishna's eyes, and he's running in fear of Mother Yashoda. But Mother Yashoda, right? She actually comes and catches Krishna, and that time Krishna is so fearful, isn't it? And Mother Yashoda has a stick in her hand. She does not beat Krishna, but she still just shows the stick to Krishna. And now Mother Yashoda is caught, and Krishna is so fearful. Krishna is just looking at Mother Yashoda, and Mother Yashoda drops the stick, right? Mother Yashoda is so much in love, right? She does not want to punish Krishna, right? Acharyas also explained, I've heard in one of the class, that Mother Yashoda thinks, right? What if my child, goes up to become a thief? It is my responsibility to ensure that I actually, my child becomes a responsible person, not a thief. Like that, Mother Yashoda assumes responsibility for growing up Krishna, as a nice, wonderful boy, right? So in this way, Prabhupada says, that is what is the relationship we want to develop with the Lord. Right? We don't want to have the Lord as our order supplier. Oh Lord, give me my daily bread. No, that is not what the devotees ask the Lord. What do the devotees ask the Lord? Oh Lord, how can I serve you? How can I please you? Right? In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is better represented as our son rather than our father, like that Prabhupada explains in the lecture. So here also, Mother Yashoda assumes the responsibility of making Krishna a lovable boy, right? Of course, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the most lovable, right? But yet, Mother Yashoda does this not to punish Krishna, but for the well-being of Krishna, right? Some of the demons, like we know Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and all, they also give pleasure to Krishna, right? Because Krishna wants to enjoy the Virya ras, right? Although they give pleasure to Krishna, their intention is not to please Krishna. So hence, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, although they please Krishna, it is not pure devotional service. Whereas here, Mother Yashoda is apparently causing distress to Krishna, right? She's running behind Krishna with a stick, right? She's binding Krishna to a motor, right? Apparently, Mother Yashoda is causing distress to Krishna. But yet, what is her intention? Her intention is all love and devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So although the act is supposed to be unfavorable, because her intent is to serve the Lord for his pleasure, and this service is what is recommended by the Lord, right? We all are running behind Krishna, to begging for Krishna to give us an opportunity to serve him, and Mother Yashoda represents the jiva, or the living entity, right? However difficult it may be because of our anarthas, right? We should never stop running behind Krishna and asking for service. How do we do it? Every day morning we do it by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, we show our sincerity and endeavor to bind Krishna, to serve Krishna, and then Krishna shows his mercy, and that is Krishna's supreme will. We cannot tell Krishna, I've been chanting for 20 years. Krishna, why are you not giving me Krishna Prem? Right? Krishna knows the quality of our chanting. We know only the quantity. That too, how many we are doing sleeping, how many we are doing watching the mobile, we don't know. Krishna knows how our chanting is, right? So Krishna will give us according to what we deserve. Krishna will give us according to how much we desire. Krishna will give us Krishna Prema according to how much laulyam we have to understand Krishna, to serve Krishna, to speak about Krishna, to glorify Krishna, to hear about Krishna. To that extent, Krishna will give us, Krishna will reveal himself to us. All right, let's move ahead. What is the time? Okay, in 10 minutes, we'll finish this chapter. This is a very beautiful chapter, which we cannot leave halfway. All right, who wants to read? Okay, Sarva Gopeshri Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mother, Datta Pranam.
Datta Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
Mother Yashoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit, she wanted to allay his fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Mother Yashoda thought, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yashoda then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not she did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yashoda was thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that the child had no limitation. There is no inside or outside of him, nor beginning nor or end. He is unlimited and all pervading. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yashoda was thinking Krishna as her child. Although he is beyond the reach of all her senses, she endeavored to bind him to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was too short, by 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from her house and added to it, but still found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home, but when the final knot was added, she saw that the rope was still 2 inches too short. Mother Yashoda was smiling, but she was astonished. How was it happening? In attempting to bind her son, she became tired. She was perspiring, and the garland of her head fell down. Then Lord Krishna appreciated the hard labor of his mother, and being compassionate upon her, he agreed to be bound by the rope. Krishna, playing as a human child in the house of Mother Yashoda, was performing his own selected pastime. Of course, no one can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The pure devotee surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of the Lord, who may either protect or vanquish the devotee. But for his part, the devotee never forgets his own position of surrender. Similarly, the Lord also feels transcendental pleasure by submitting himself to the protection of the devotee. This was exemplified by Krishna's surrender unto his mother, Yashoda. Krishna is the supreme bestower of all kinds of liberation to his devotees. But the benediction which was bestowed upon Mother Yashoda was never experienced even by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as the son of Yashoda and the Nanda Maharaja, is never so completely known to the yogis and speculators, but he is easily available to his devotee. Nor is he appreciated as the supreme reservoir of all pleasure by the yogis and speculators.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So this is a very wonderful pastime. You all know and we've heard these pastimes many times, right? But it's very wonderful. The 2 inches too short is one is our endeavor, and second is the mercy of the Supreme Lord, right? How much ever we try, and Mother Yashoda brought the ropes from the entire Vrindavan, from her house first, from the neighboring houses, then from the entire Vrindavan, the ropes were brought. Yet it was 2 fingers too short, right? So our endeavor can never be independently successful unless the mercy of the Lord is given, right? So in this way, when Lord Krishna saw Mother Yashoda's endeavor, so much of endeavor, bringing all the ropes, and yet she was determined never to give up, right? She was astonished. She was feeling what is happening. Everything was outside her understanding. Everything was completely going over her head. But yet she would not stop looking for ropes, and somehow or the other she will add the ropes and try to bind Krishna. And this was going on for a long time, right? We've just read it in 2-3 minutes, right? It was going on for a long time. And when Krishna saw that Mother Yashoda is not even stopping, she's still trying to understand how to bind Krishna in that. So he could see her love, her dedication, her sincerity, her enthusiasm, her patience, right? Seeing all of this, Krishna allowed himself to be bound, right? Some acharyas also say that we cannot bind Krishna without the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So it is said that when all this was happening, the news spread far and wide, and everybody from the neighboring villages also came, right? So from Barsana, even Radharani came, right? As a small girl. So it is said that Radharani actually took her ribbon and she gave to Mother Yashoda. And that ribbon, when Mother Yashoda used to bind, then as soon as she tied that, Krishna allowed himself to be bound. So as much as devotional service that we may do, we also know that Srimati Radharani is the person who gives bhakti, right? And she is the one who needs to recommend us, right? And when Krishna sees that somebody is recommended by Radharani, he does not see the actual facts of the case, right? Actually, there's an analogy that is given, right? Somebody was explaining in the class that in government office, what happens? The person who signs the file and passes the file does not really go through all the documents, right? It's all done by his trustworthy people, right? When they pass the file to him, then he just simply relies on their work and simply he signs and passes the file. Like in that way, Krishna also does not go through our file of devotional service. Whatever we have done, whatever good things we've done, bad things we've done, nothing. Krishna does not look, right? Because this devotee was explaining, if Krishna were to look into our file, he would put it in the dustbin, saying many, many lifetimes more, right? Next file, will not pass this file, like that. But when Radharani recommends, Krishna does not look at the file. He just looks at Radharani's recommendation, passes the file. Just like it moves in the government offices, like that. So in this way, our hope is only Srimati Radharani, right? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. She is very, very dear to Lord Hari, that whomever she recommends, Lord Hari or Lord Shri Krishna will take her recommendation. In fact, Radharani will recommend that this devotee is even better than me in devotional service. And when such a recommendation, when Krishna hears it, then Krishna immediately gives Krishna prema to such devotees recommended by Srimati Radharani. So in this way, Srimati Radharani does not see our eligibility or qualification. Srimati Radharani only sees our desire. If we have the desire to serve, she will give us the qualifications, she will give us the talents, she will give us the resources, she will give us the skills, she will give us the talents so that we can serve Krishna in a way that is pleasing to Lord Sri Krishna. So that's how it happens. And then we go on to the last pastime that also happens, the liberation of the Nalakuvera and Manigriva. All right, so we'll end with Sri Priya Sampath Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. After binding her son.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. After binding her son, Mother Yashoda engaged herself in household affairs. After that time, bound to the wooden motor, Krishna could see a pair of trees before him, which were known as Arjuna trees, the great reservoir of pleasure. Lord Sri Krishna thus thought to himself, Mother Yashoda first of all left without feeding me sufficient milk. Therefore, I broke the pot of yogurt and disturbed the stock butter in charity to the monkeys. Now she has bound me up to the wooden motor, so I shall do something more mischievous than before. And thus he thought of pulling down the two very tall Arjuna trees. There is a history behind the pair of Arjuna trees. In the previous lives, the trees were born as the human sons of Kuvera. Their names were Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Fortunately, they came within the vision of the Lord. In their previous lives, they were cursed by sage Narada in order to receive the highest benediction of seeing Lord Krishna. This benediction curse was bestowed upon them because of their forgetfulness due to intoxication. This story will be narrated in the next chapter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 9th chapter of Krishna, Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. Thank you, Manji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this way, the unconquerable Lord, somebody who cannot be bound, was ultimately bound by the love of Mother Yashoda, right? Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tobhyam. Right? In this Damodara Ashtakam, the last verse, it says, Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya. Oh Radhika, who are very dear to Lord Hari. Right? Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tobhyam, who performs so many pastimes, right? With Radha and Krishna perform so many pastimes. We offer respectful obeisance to Srimati Radharani, who is only capable of delivering Krishna to us, right? Who is only capable of delivering us from all of our anarthas and some or the other engaging us in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even the Damodara Ashtakam, where apparently Srimati Radharani has no role, right? It's Yashoda running behind Krishna and binding Lord Sri Krishna. So where is Srimati Radharani coming in, right? Srimati Radharani is always there whenever any pastime is happening, because it is only the Srimati Radharani who gives pleasure to Krishna. No one else can give pleasure to Krishna as much as Srimati Radharani. So in all the pastimes, Srimati Radharani's involvement is there. Either it is externally manifested or it may not be externally manifested. But Srimati Radharani is always there to give this pleasure to Lord Sri Krishna. So we always beg Srimati Radharani to give us the taste of for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the pleasure of Krishna. some or the other we engage in devotional service in a way that is pleasing to Guru and Gauranga, right? So in that way, we should always pray to Srimati Radharani, because she only gives us the opportunity, the ability, the resources, the skills, the talents, and everything else is required to perform devotional service in a way that's pleasing to Guru Gauranga, to Radha Krishna. So with this, we will end our session today. Tomorrow we will. Tomorrow is Saturday, so tomorrow Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj is in Mumbai. We're having a class in Juhu Temple. So Saturday, Sunday. So of course we meet for a Brahmurta chanting session tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. But we meet for Bhagavad Gita session on Monday. Right? We will continue this Nalakvera liberation, the pastime. How even the curse of a devotee is actually a benediction. Right? Even if you get cursed by a devotee, right? That is the advantage of having devotee association, right? Even if you are chastised, even if you are cursed, even if you are corrected, right? All of those things are actually going to help us in advance in devotional service, right? We will see how the curse of Narada became a benediction for Nalakuvera and Manikirava to actually have darshan of the Supreme Lord and be liberated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all that we will continue next Wednesday. But do join us at 11:30, 12 o'clock on Monday as we continue with the study of Bhagavad Gita. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Krishna book ki jai. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti so Arjuna. Right? Krishna says, anyone who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance and pastimes will not again take birth in this material world, but will attain the supreme transcendental abode of Goloka Vrindavan through eternal service to Shri Radha and Krishna. Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll quickly do Harinam Sankirtan. Devotees can switch on your cameras and then we will have darshan of the devotees. Somehow I cannot find the Kartal here. Okay, so let's do Kirtan and then we will have darshan of the devotees and then we'll end. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Asyatyadi Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jaya Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Jaya Jaya Sudarshan Jaya Balagopal Jaya Balagopal Jaya Balagopal Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Shyam Jai Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurudev ki jai. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री गोस्वामी वृंदावन की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। So I'm able to see Shobha Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Monimala Mataji, Harjeet Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Shri Prabhu, Shubhangi Keshri Mataji, Katpagavali Mataji, Sarvagopi Shri Mataji, Shri Priya Sampat Mataji, all our regular devotees. My sincere gratitude to all of you. Thank you all for joining in every day. There's some change of time and everything happening every day. So I thank you all for your patience. Thank you for tolerating me, and some or the other, we're able to study. This is the 17th book of Srila Prabhupada that we are studying by the causeless mercy of Guru Gauranga and all you wonderful Vaishnavas. Thank you very much. Mancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Thank you all very much. We'll meet you all at 5 a.m. tomorrow for Brahma Muhurta chanting, and then on Sunday, and then on Monday we will continue with Bhagavad Gita study at 12 o'clock, hopefully. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurudev ki